The afternoon sun, usually a cheerful splash of gold across the living room carpet, felt heavy and oppressive to 6-year-old Lily. Her mother, Sarah, had been looking tired for days, her usual vibrant energy replaced by a pale, drawn weariness. Today, however, was different. Sarah had been humming a lullaby as she folded laundry, a gentle, familiar tune that always made Lily feel safe. Then, without warning, the humming stopped. Sarah swayed, her eyes fluttering, and before Lily could fully comprehend what was happening, her mother crumpled to the floor like a discarded doll. A small, terrified gasp escaped Lily's lips. "Mommy?" she whispered, her voice barely audible. No response. Sarah lay still, her face ashen, her breathing shallow. Panic, cold and sharp, seized Lily's tiny heart. She remembered her mother's lessons. If anything bad happens, Lilybug, you call for help. You call 911. Her hands trembling, Lily scrambled for her mother's phone, which had fallen from Sarah's hand. It was a sleek, unfamiliar device, much larger than Lily's own toy phone. Her fingers, small and uncoordinated, fumbled with the screen. She knew the numbers, 911. She had practiced them countless times on her toy phone, pretending to be a brave rescuer. But this was real. This was Mommy. She pressed the numbers, her brow furrowed in concentration. 911, she held the phone to her ear, her heart pounding like a hummingbird's wings. A strange, deep voice answered, not the calm, reassuring tone she'd heard on TV. You have reached the private line of Mr. Elias Thorne. State your business. Lily's eyes welled up. My mommy fainted. She's not waking up. Her voice cracked, tears streaming down her cheeks. There was a moment of silence on the other end, a pause that felt like an eternity. Elias Thorne, a man whose life revolved around multi-billion-dollar deals, mergers, and acquisitions, was not accustomed to calls from distraught sick. He was a titan of industry, a recluse known for his ruthless business, acumen, and impenetrable privacy. His phone number was guarded more fiercely than Fort Knox. Thorne muttered to himself, his perfectly orchestrated day suddenly derailed. He was in the middle of closing a monumental deal, one that would redefine his company's legacy. Yet, the raw, unadulterated fear in the child's voice pierced through his usual detached composure. Little one, what is your name, and where are you? Lily, between sobs, managed to stammer out her name and address. Elias Thorne, despite his initial annoyance, found himself listening intently. He was a man who prided himself on efficiency and This was a problem, albeit one far outside his usual domain. All right, Lily, Thorne said, his voice surprisingly gentle. Listen to me very carefully. I am not 911, but I am going to help your mommy. Can you tell me if she's breathing? Lily sniffled, pressing her ear against her mother's chest. She's making little noises, Mr. Elias. Good. That's very good. Now, I need you to stay calm. I am sending someone to your house right now. They will be there very, very soon. Can you unlock the door for them when they arrive? Yes, Lily whispered, clutching the phone tightly. Elias Thorne, without a moment's hesitation, barked orders into a second phone, a direct line to his personal security detail. Drop everything. I need a medical team, and I mean a top-tier medical team, at this address immediately. And I want an ambulance on standby. Within minutes, a sleek, unmarked black SUV, followed by a private ambulance, screeched to a halt outside Lily's modest suburban home. Two highly trained paramedics, part of Thorne's elite private medical staff, burst through the unlocked door. They were accustomed to treating Thorne's high-profile clients and associates, not single mothers in quiet neighborhoods. Lily, still clutching the phone, watched wide-eyed as they efficiently assessed her mother. They hooked Sarah up 2 monitors, administered oxygen, and began asking Lily questions, their voices calm and reassuring. All the while, Elias Thorne remained on the line, listening to the unfolding drama, his multi-billion-dollar deal momentarily forgotten. It turned out Sarah had a severe undiagnosed heart condition, exacerbated by stress and overwork. The paramedics confirmed she needed immediate, specialized care. Thorne, still on the phone, overheard their assessment. Take her to the best hospital in the city, Thorne commanded, his voice resonating with authority. Arrange for a private room, the top cardiologists, whatever it takes. Send the bills directly to my office. The paramedics, used to Thorne's decisive nature, nodded and carefully transported Sarah into the waiting ambulance. Lily, initially hesitant, was gently coaxed into joining her mother. As the ambulance pulled away, Thorne finally ended the call. He leaned back in his opulent office chair, a strange mix of relief and bewilderment washing over him. He had just diverted a significant portion of his resources to a complete stranger, a child who had dialed a wrong number. Over the next few days, Elias Thorne, the man who rarely showed emotion, found himself surprisingly invested in Sarah's recovery. He received hourly updates from the hospital. He learned that Sarah was a single mother, struggling to make ends meet, working 2 jobs to support Lily. He learned about her quiet strength, her unwavering love for her daughter. He also learned that her medical bills would be astronomical, far beyond anything she could ever hope to pay. A thought, unprecedented and almost alien, began to form in Thorne's mind. He had accumulated vast wealth, more than he could ever spend. He had built an empire, but at what cost? His personal life was a barren landscape, devoid of genuine connection. He had always believed in the cold logic of numbers, the relentless pursuit of more. But Lily's terrified voice, her innocent plea for help, had stirred something within him, a dormant spark of humanity. He made a decision that would shock not only Sarah and Lily, but also his entire corporate world. A week later, Sarah, still weak but recovering, was discharged from the hospital. Her heart condition was stable, but she would require ongoing treatment and significant lifestyle changes. The doctors had told her not to worry about the bills, that they had been taken care of by an anonymous benefactor. Sarah was overwhelmed with gratitude and confusion. Who could possibly be so generous? She racked her brain, trying to think of anyone in her modest life who commanded such resources, but no one came to mind. The mystery added another layer to her already fragile state. She felt a profound sense of indebtedness, yet had no one to thank. As she and Lily stepped out of the hospital, the afternoon sun, now warm and welcoming, bathed them in a soft glow. Sarah squinted, her eyes adjusting to the brightness, when a sleek black limousine, polished to a mirror sheen, glided to a stop directly in front of them. A polite, impeccably dressed man, with an air of quiet efficiency, held the door open. "Ms. Jenkins, Miss Lily, Mr. Thorne would like to invite you to his estate." Sarah's jaw dropped, her confusion deepening. Elias Thorne, the legendary, reclusive billionaire, whose name was synonymous with unimaginable wealth and power. Why would he want to see them? Apprehension mingled with a strange, almost fantastical sense of wonder. She clutched Lily's hand, a silent promise to protect her daughter, no matter what this surreal turn of events might bring. Lily, however, seemed unfazed, her eyes wide with innocent curiosity at the luxurious vehicle. The drive to Thorne's estate was a blur for Sarah. The city slowly gave way to sprawling, meticulously manicured landscapes, culminating in a towering wrought iron gate that silently swung open to reveal a private road. The estate itself was breathtaking. A sprawling mansion of classical design nestled amidst vast emerald gardens and shimmering fountains that danced in the sunlight. Lily Wyatt thought it looked exactly like a castle from a fairy tale, a place where princesses lived. Sarah, however, felt a pang of unease. This was a world so far removed from her own, a chasm of wealth and privilege she could scarcely comprehend. Inside, Elias Thorne, a tall, imposing figure, stood waiting in a grand, sunlit drawing. He was older than Sarah had imagined, his face etched with the lines of a life lived intensely, a testament to countless high-stakes decisions. Yet, as he turned towards them, his eyes held a surprising warmth, a stark contrast to the cold, ruthless image she had gleaned from media reports. "Ms. Jenkins," Thorne began, his voice deep and resonant, filling the vast room. "I am Elias Thorne. Your daughter, Lily, called me when you fainted. It seems she dialed a wrong number, but perhaps it was the right one after all." A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips. Sarah, still reeling from the sheer opulence surrounding her and the presence of the man himself, could only nod, her throat tight with unspoken questions. "I have been following your recovery," Thorne continued, his gaze steady and direct, "and I have learned a great deal about you and Lily. You are a remarkable woman, Ms. Jenkins, working tirelessly to provide for your daughter despite immense challenges. And Lily," he added, turning his gaze to the little girl who was now shyly peeking from behind her mother's leg, "is incredibly brave. Her quick thinking saved your life." He paused, then took a deep breath, as if preparing for a momentous announcement. "I have a proposition for you." Sarah braced herself, her mind racing. She expected some kind of repayment plan for the medical bills, perhaps an offer of a low-paying job at one of his companies, or even a lecture on financial responsibility. What Thorne said next, however, completely stunned her, shattering all her preconceived notions. "I am a man of immense wealth, Ms. Jenkins," Thorne stated, his voice gaining a quiet intensity, "but I have come to realize that wealth without purpose is empty. My life has been consumed by acquisition, by the relentless pursuit of more. Lily's call, your situation, it has opened my eyes. It has reminded me of the profound impact one life can have on another, and the simple, undeniable truth of human vulnerability and connection. I want to help, not just with your medical bills, which are of course fully covered. I want to ensure you and Lily never have to worry about anything ever again." He gestured to a thick stack of documents on a nearby antique table, bound in leather. "I have established a trust in Lily's name. It is substantial, enough to cover her education, her future, anything she could ever need, from the finest universities to pursuing her wildest dreams. And for you, Ms. Jenkins, I have acquired a controlling interest in a small, struggling publishing house. It's a company with significant potential, but it needs a strong, compassionate leader, someone with a keen eye for talent and a genuine understanding of human stories. I believe that leader is you." Sarah's mind reeled, struggling to process the enormity of his words. A trust, a publishing house. It felt like a dream, a cruel trick of her still recovering mind, a fantasy spun from the pages of a novel. "Mr. Thawne," she managed to stammer, her voice barely a whisper. "Why me? Why all this?" Thorne walked over to a large bay window, gazing out at his vast estate, the setting sun casting long shadows across the manicured lawns. "Because, Ms. Jenkins, I believe in paying it forward. Because I believe that true success isn't just about accumulating wealth, but about using it to make a meaningful difference in the world. And because a little girl, by dialing a wrong number, reminded me of what truly matters. The preciousness of life, the power of compassion, and the interconnectedness of us all." He turned back to her, a genuine, almost tender smile gracing his lips. "The trust for Lily is valued at $1 billion. It is a gift with no strings attached, a foundation for her future that will allow her to flourish without the burdens you have carried. As for the publishing house, it will be yours to run. My team will provide all the legal and financial support you need, but the vision, the direction, the creative heart of it will be entirely yours. I have seen your resilience, your dedication, your quiet strength. I believe you can turn it into something truly special, a platform for voices that deserve to be heard." Lily, who had been quietly playing with the toy car on the plush carpet, looked up, sensing the profound shift in the atmosphere, the emotional weight of her mother's tears. "Mommy, are we rich now?" she asked, her eyes wide with innocent wonder. Sarah, tears welling up again, but this time tears of overwhelming joy, disbelief, and a profound sense of relief, knelt and hugged her daughter tightly. "Yes, Lilybug," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "It seems we are. And it's all because of you." The news of Elias Thorne's unprecedented act of generosity sent shockwaves through the financial world. Headlines screamed about the reclusive billionaire's sudden transformation, the billion-dollar wrong number, and the mysterious single mother and child who had become the beneficiaries of his newfound philanthropy. Many speculated about his motives, some cynical, others genuinely intrigued, but Thorne remained steadfast. He had found a new purpose, a new way to leverage his wealth for good, a legacy far more meaningful than any corporate takeover. Sarah, now the unexpected CEO of a burgeoning publishing empire, embraced her new role with the same quiet determination and meticulous attention to detail she had applied to her two previous jobs. The transition was not without its challenges. She had to learn the intricacies of the publishing industry, navigate complex contracts, and manage a team of skeptical employees who initially saw her as Thorne's puppet. But Sarah, with her innate intelligence and unwavering work ethic, quickly proved them wrong. She poured her heart and soul into the company, transforming it from a struggling entity into a beacon of creativity and innovation. She championed diverse voices, sought out untold stories, and published books that resonated deeply with readers. She fostered a workplace culture built on compassion, respect, and a genuine love for literature, a stark contrast to the cutthroat environments she had once known. She never forgot where she came from, or the extraordinary circumstances that had led her to this new life, ensuring that the company also supported literacy programs in underserved communities. Lily grew up with every opportunity imaginable, attending the best schools, traveling the world, and pursuing her passions without financial constraint. Yet, she remained grounded, kind, and fiercely independent, a testament to Sarah's upbringing and the values instilled in her. She inherited her mother's resilience and a touch of Elias Thorne's sharp intellect, often engaging him in lively debates about economics and philosophy during her visits. Thorne, in turn, became a cherished grandfatherly figure in her life, sharing stories of his own journey and offering wisdom gleaned from decades of experience. Their bond, forged in a moment of crisis, deepened into a genuine affection and mutual respect. Years later, at a grand gala celebrating the publishing house's 20th anniversary, Sarah stood on stage, a confident and accomplished woman, her silver hair framing a face etched with wisdom and contentment. She looked out at the sea of faces, a testament to the thriving company she had built. In the front row, a beaming Elias Thorne, now a venerable elder statesman, watched with pride. Beside him sat a beautiful, poised Lily, now a successful and critically acclaimed author in her own right. Her latest novel, a bestseller. 20 years ago, Sarah began, her voice clear and strong, resonating with emotion. My life changed in an instant. My daughter, in a moment of fear and desperation, called a wrong number. It was a simple mistake, a child's fumbled attempt to find help. But that wrong number led us to a man who, with unimaginable generosity, changed our lives forever. He gave us not just wealth, but opportunity, purpose, and a profound belief in the extraordinary power of human connection. She paused, her eyes glistening, scanning the faces of her employees, her authors, and her friends. He taught us that sometimes, the greatest blessings come from the most unexpected places, from the most unlikely of encounters, and that a single act of kindness, born from a child's cry for help, can echo through generations, creating a ripple effect of good that transforms not just one life, but many. It taught me that true wealth lies not in what you accumulate, but in the lives you enrich, the stories you tell, and the hope you inspire. The applause was thunderous, a standing ovation that lasted for several minutes. A heartfelt testament to the incredible journey of Sarah and Lily, and the transformative impact of a billionaire who answered a wrong number. Elias Thorne, watching from the audience, felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling far more fulfilling than any multi-billion-dollar deal he had ever closed. He had found his true legacy, not in the numbers on a balance sheet, but in the lives he had touched, the opportunities he had created, and the profound, unexpected joy of connection. All because a little girl had called the wrong emergency number, and a billion, indeed, had surprised her.